Greetings fellow traders, this is Max and welcome to my Sunday market analysis where I'm going to analyze the market and share with you my top trades for the upcoming week. And for the coming week I have selected 3 pairs with interesting trade setups. It is the beginning of a new month, so it's worth looking at the monthly chart too, but it was really difficult for me to find those pairs and those trade setups for the coming week because I wasn't quite sure where the market was going on certain pairs. Some are just long overdue for correction and some are still on a price level where I do not see it making sense to open a position. And of course later on in the video we will have a look at those 3 pairs from last week and see how those pairs have performed. So stay tuned until the end of the video for that. Now without further ado, let's get right into it and we'll start with the pair EURGBP. And for EURGBP I decided to look for a long position. As you can see, we have an area of interest here where the price has experienced resistance in the past and support as well. And right now it seems to be a level that it broke through again, and now I hope that this former resistance level will turn into support again so that the price will then continue to the upside. And as you can see, the daily candlestick has closed above this area and a round psychological level, the 0.875 round psychological level, and left quite a decent wick to the upside, which I expect to be getting filled in the coming week. So what I'm waiting for now and looking for is I'm looking for price to have a correction back into this area here, the round psychological level and the area of interest. I then would like to see it having the shifter structure that's indicating that the price will have a continuation to the upside. I would also like to see some kind of liquidity grab that the price will do in this area, and then I want to see it violently reversing to the upside again, which is then indicating to me that there's buying power in the market suddenly. And even the weekly chart has left a small wick to the upside, not as big as on the daily candlestick. Well, actually quite similar, but it's not really that decent, but we've closed above this area. And as I said, we should look at the monthly chart as well. We can see that the recent monthly candlestick has closed as a big green engulfing monthly candlestick, engulfing the 2 recent months, almost the 3 recent months. And right now there might be a small wick down, which will then be the retest of this area in the newly forming monthly candlestick. And this is what I'm waiting for, and then where I would hop on this long trade on EURGBP and hope that price will actually climb to the upside. Let's have a look at the next pair on my list, which is GBPCAD. GBPCAD is kind of a special setup, I would say. First we'll start at the monthly chart here. We can see the recent monthly candlestick has closed red, but it's still closed in this significant area here, which is an area where price has experienced support and not really resistance. Yes, actually here we have price experiencing resistance, but now I really hope it will experience further support. So I'm looking for a long position here, and you can see that the weekly candlestick has closed kind of neutrally, and I'm expecting now a shift of structure in this area, maybe a second liquidity sweep, but on the lower time frame I would like to see something like a break out of this round psychological level, the 1.84 round psychological level. I want to see price breaking it, and then I want to get in on a long position at this higher low where it will retest this area again. You can see that this is a significant zone where price has bounced several times, and I really hope that it will bounce off of this area again. If it does not, the alternative would be to wait for a breakout to the downside. As you can see, this is kind of forming a head and shoulders pattern here on the weekly chart. We have a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder, which is considered to be a bearish pattern, and this pattern is indicating a potential reversal. But as long as price does not break this neckline here, I'm looking for a potential long position. Now let's get to the next and already last pair of the main list, which is NZDUSD. And NZDUSD is kind of a special trade. On NZDUSD, I'm looking for a potential long position, but as you can see, it's kind of almost in the air. There are some significant areas and round psychological levels, but actually price is experiencing some resistance in this area and the round psychological level, the 0.6 round psychological level. And it's also an area of interest. We have resistance and support, and now I'm waiting for it to break out of this area or break through this area, then come back into it, test it, give me my entry signal, a small liquidity sweep below this area, and then show me some bullish buying power coming into the market here on NZDUSD. And then I'll open the long position to profit off of a continuation to the upside. So why did I put this pair on my list now? Well, this is looking like a cup and a potential handle. And a cup and handle pattern is very often considered to be a bullish pattern and might indicate indicate a continuation to the upside. And now I'm just waiting for it, or I'm waiting for price to break through this price level. And if it triggers my alarm, then I will have a look at it and wait for the pullback into the area to then hop on for a long position. Of course, price might just reject this area and then continue to the downside. If it does, I will not be interested in this long position anymore. And we'll also have a look at the monthly chart, and the monthly chart looks quite promising to me. We recently had a big green monthly candlestick close, and now we've had a rather neutral monthly candlestick close. And now I'm waiting for price to actually have maybe the small wick down, or we just have the continuation to the upside straight away, and then hopefully the new monthly candlestick will also close as a big and green monthly candlestick, just as we, for example, had in the past in some uptrends. We had here a rather neutral close and then a green push to the upside, or even further back in the past. There are sometimes some instances where we've had a continuation to the upside, even if it's just a small one, for example around this area here. But of course I do not want to compare too many things to the past, because the past do not really indicate any future results. So I will just act accordingly to the price action that is happening in the present. That's already it with the main list. Now let's have a look at some pairs from last week and see how those pairs have performed. And we'll start here with CAD JPY. On CAD JPY, I was waiting, or I was looking for a long position a short position, and on the lower time frame I was waiting for price to have the break and a smaller retest to then open the clear short position around this area. As you can see, it had a smaller rejection here, but then it immediately continued to the upside, never giving me my entry signal to clearly open the short position. So I totally avoided this loss on CAD JPY and just continued to the upside, and maybe it will continue, or maybe it will have another push to the downside and through this 113 round psychological level. Whatever it will do, I've put in price alarm here, so I will probably have a look at the pair again as soon as it's triggering this alarm. And the next pair, Euro JPY, pretty much had a similar trade idea or trade setup. I was waiting for it to have this kind of small head and shoulders pattern here, to have the break of this neckline, which it had, but it had then failed the retest and it just immediately continued to the upside, not giving me a sufficient short entry signal, and I also avoided this loss. The price just continued to the upside. Then I was looking for a potential long position, but it never really had the clear retest of this 183 round psychological level, so I did not hop in on a long position, and I also did not sell Euro JPY to profit off of the continuation to the downside, since it has never given me my entry signal. And the last pair is USD JPY. And on USD JPY, I was mainly looking for a long position, as I was waiting for price to come down back into the area, retest the 153.5 round psychological level and area of interest. But as you can see, it just immediately continued to the upside, never triggered my alarm, so I did not get an entry signal here either. And I also did not take any trade on this pair. Well, it's unfortunate. I did not get really solid opportunities last week, but maybe this week is going to be different. And of course, I've analyzed the other pairs too and set price alarms, and if any of those alarms getting triggered, I will have a look at the respective pair again and see if I can find any new suitable trades for the coming week. If you want to get notified whenever that happens, or if you're interested in regular trade updates on my actual running trades and get notified whenever I open or close a position, you can just join my free Telegram channel. I will put the link to it into the video description. If you liked this video, just give me a thumbs up, and if you did not like this video, leave a dislike and feel free to comment what I can improve in the future so that you may like this video. Of course, subscribe to not miss out on any future Sunday market analysis. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below and I will try to answer your questions. Thank you for watching. I wish you a successful trading week. Remember to manage your risk properly, and see you next Sunday.